Life is a constant ebb and flow, much like the moon's phases. There are times of growth and expansion and times of retreat and reflection. What if we embrace these natural cycles instead of resisting them? Today, we're diving into the powerful metaphor of the moon's waxing and waning and how accepting life's rhythm can bring peace, resilience, and growth. The moon's phases teach us something profound about life. Just as it grows brighter and dims over time, we too experience periods of expansion and contraction. In moments of growth, we feel full of possibility, while in times of retreat, we may feel less visible or uncertain. But instead of viewing these phases as opposing forces, we can learn to embrace them as integral parts of our journey. By accepting the ebb and flow of life, we discover balance, resilience, and the power to evolve with each phase. The waxing and waning of life. The moon's cycle is a perfect reflection of life's natural rhythm. There are times when we are in a phase of expansion, moving forward with energy, clarity, and focus. We feel like we're growing, reaching new heights, and becoming more of who we're meant to be. These are the waxing moments in life, full of potential and progress. Then, there are the waning moments, the times when we feel less visible, when things slow down and the progress seems less certain. We might feel disconnected, smaller, or uncertain. But just as the moon's light doesn't vanish during the waning phase, neither does our purpose, our potential, or our power. The waning phase isn't about loss. It's about preparation, reflection, and internal growth. Life cycles are not linear. We're not meant to be on all the time. We need moments of growth, yes, but we also need moments of pause. And just as the moon doesn't resist its own rhythm, we shouldn't resist the natural ebb and flow of our own lives. Embracing the ebb and flow. What would it look like if we embraced the rhythm of our own lives with the same grace the moon shows? Instead of fighting the quiet moments or the times when things don't feel as vibrant, we could accept them as part of the process. The ebb isn't something to fear. It's an invitation to turn inward, to rest, to recharge. And the flow, the waxing of our own lives, is an invitation to act, to expand, and to give our energy freely. It's in the ebb and flow that we find balance. Without rest, we burn out. Without growth, we stagnate. But when we move in sync with life's rhythms, we allow ourselves the space to renew, to rejuvenate, and to rise again when the time is right. How to embrace life's cycles. Lesson number 1. Recognize your phases. Understanding where you are in your own cycle is the first step toward embracing it. Are you in a waxing phase, feeling full of energy, possibility, and momentum? Or are you in a waning phase, needing to retreat and reflect? Acknowledging where you are helps you take aligned action. Don't try to force yourself to be in a growth phase if you're in a time of rest. Honor your natural rhythms. Lesson number 2. Accept the quiet moments. When life feels like it's slowing down, take it as a sign to pause, rest, and replenish. These moments of quiet aren't wasted. They are essential to your growth. Without them, the next phase of expansion can't happen. Treat rest as an act of productivity, not as something that's wasted or unnecessary. Lesson number 3. Trust the process. Just as the moon doesn't rush through its cycles, you don't need to rush through life's phases. Trust that everything happens in its own time. Your life will ebb and flow, and both are necessary for growth. Be patient with yourself. Trust that even in the waning moments, you are still moving forward, just in a different way. There's growth in the quiet, in the reflection, and in the inward work you're doing, even when it doesn't feel like it. Lesson number 4. Honor the need for change. Life is full of change, and change requires flexibility. Just as the moon doesn't fight its phases, we too must learn to adapt when things shift. Whether it's a personal change, a career shift, or a change in relationships, allow yourself to flow with the changes. Embrace them as part of your growth, not something to resist. Lesson number 5. Reflect and recharge regularly. Use the quieter phases of life for reflection. Take time to check in with yourself, your goals, your desires, your well-being. Reflection isn't just about thinking back on what's happened. It's about recalibrating so that when you're in your next phase of growth, you do so with intention and clarity. Regularly recharge to stay aligned with your true self. The beauty of the rhythm. Life's ebb and flow is not something to fear, it's something to celebrate. Just like the moon's light doesn't disappear in the dark, your power doesn't fade during your quieter moments. It is simply waiting for the next phase of your growth. Each cycle, each phase, is an opportunity to become more in tune with yourself, more aligned with your purpose, and more at peace with the natural rhythm of life. Life is a dance between growth and retreat, between expansion and reflection. Just like the moon, we are not meant to stay in one phase forever. The magic happens when we surrender to the rhythm, knowing that each phase, whether it's a time of intense growth or quiet withdrawal, holds its own beauty and purpose. The ebb and flow of life isn't a sign of weakness or failure. It's a sign of wisdom, of understanding that there is power in patience, strength in stillness, and purpose in every cycle. The next time you find yourself in a waning phase, don't see it as a setback. See it as the quiet before your next rise, the calm that prepares you for your next leap. Trust that, like the moon, you will always return to your fullness. And remember, when you honor the ebb and flow of your own life, you are aligning yourself with the greatest force of nature, allowing your growth to be organic, effortless, and perfectly timed. Step into the flow, trust the process, and embrace the journey that is uniquely yours. The world needs you to be in harmony with your rhythm. Now, dance with life in all its phases and create something extraordinary.